Hi, I'm Liam Berry. Welcome back to Alcan ADV. Last week I started a series on mods that I've done to this bike to get it ready for a fairly lengthy road trip this coming summer. I'm going to finish that up this week, and we'll go into some of the things that aren't necessarily mandatory on the bike but are a good idea or just help out a lot. Anyway, we'll get into that right after this. I'm going to start off with a couple of electrical accessories. Now, visibility is important on any motorcycle, and not only yours, but that of other people so they can see you too. And anything you can do to improve that is always good. Now, I found this license plate frame on Amazon for relatively cheap, and it's got LED lights built into it. So I wired it to my brake light, and so now when my brakes come on, I have that extra little bit down there. You can see how much faster it comes on too than the incandescent bulb in the top. Continuing with the electrical accessories, I've got this USB port on the bars here. I wired it to a switched power source so it won't drain the battery. Along the same lines as the wire sticking out of here, I already had a pigtail on a battery for a battery tender, so I just bought a 12-volt socket that'll fit into the same thing. I'm going to wire this into my top case so I can charge camera batteries and whatnot. While we're on electrical accessories, there's just one more thing I need to add. I relocated the fuse box. Originally it's under the seat, and where I put it was underneath the opposite side plastic quarter panel. The advantage to this is if I blow a fuse, I only have to take off one of the side plastics instead of both of them and the seat too. Now we'll move to the rest of the stuff on the bars here. In addition to the USB port, I have a RAM mount. This is the X-Grip RAM mount for my phone. It's got the little rubber thing to hold it on there in case something catastrophic happens. I put a wristwatch here on the bars. This is a nice enough little Timex. I got it on sale, so it was cheap, and it's got a big face. It's easy to read. It's also got the Indiglow feature in case you're riding at night. If you do this though, be sure to get a waterproof watch. You and I both know this thing's going to get exposed to the elements. Other than that, I've got a GoPro mount, and over here I've got, this is the switch for my auxiliary lights. That about sums up my cockpit. A couple of things that don't really fall into any categories here. This is a set of highway pegs that I kind of threw together. These are actually passenger pegs for some generic motorcycle, and this mount is actually for a light bar on, say, a side-by-side or something with a roll cage up there. And the other thing is, you can't see it right now, but I got a sheepskin seat pad from Everride. He's selling these things at a pretty good deal, and I would highly recommend you go check him out if you do any kind of long-distance touring or whatnot. Now we move to luggage. I'll start out with the top case here. This is a DeWalt toolbox with a waterproof seal in it and an airlock. I'll get into this more in a different video, but I'm pretty happy with it. The panniers I got are the Tusk panniers, and I got the Tusk racks as well for the quick release mechanism on them. I'm pretty happy with these. They were a little bit of a pain to install, the racks were, but the panniers, they look good, and I've got no complaints so far. We'll see how they hold up. I got a set of pannier handles for these things too. They mount to the footman loops on the lid, and they're great for when you want to take the box off and carry it around or take it into a hotel or something. Another thing you can't see, I got a Nelson rig tank bag. That's what these straps are here. I got it for Christmas actually, so I haven't ridden with it, and I don't know how well it'll hold up, but I've heard good things about them, and I'm pretty confident it'll be good. This one's kind of home built, but it serves its purpose well. I made a PVC tool tube, or ABS rather. This is a flush clean out plug. They're a little bit rarer than the big square regular variety, but they're flush, they don't stick out, so that works well. I have had a couple of issues with the hose clamps breaking. I was running it with just 2 hose clamps, and one of them was almost always gone, so I upgraded to 4, and we'll see how that goes. One more thing that's a little hard to get to, I have to take the pannier off, is this tube I call it. I carry my spare tubes in here. These are sold at Revzilla and whatnot for about $16.95 as a tool tube, but what a lot of people don't know is these are actually a canister for holding a manual in a piece of heavy equipment, say an excavator or something. This is where you'd put the operator's manual. You can get them at like Harbor Freight for about $3.99. Anyway, I just mounted this thing direct to the subframe. I drilled and tapped one hole up here for the top, and there was already a hole down at the bottom I could put a nut and bolt through. One thing, you do have to cut your plastic out a little bit. This goes straight off down originally, and I cut all of this out to fit the tube, but I think it's more than worth it. It looks good. and I mean, you can't even hardly tell. Of course, there's a pannier on there anyway, but the storage in there is pretty good. Well guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. I hope I gave somebody out there a good idea. I probably will be doing a little bit more of this on the trip as I probably modify some things. If you have anything to add to this, please, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. And until next week, guys, ride safe.